6:48 at KLIF. Good morning. I'm Dave Williams. Amy Shadroff has the week off. She will be back on Monday. Well, we've heard, and all you have to do is look around and talk to people. DFW has one of the hottest housing markets in the country, has had for several years now. But there is a new study showing that home prices in our area are now dropping. And to learn more about that and why it's happening, we're joined by Gillian Cunningham with the Gillian Cunningham Realty Group. Good morning, Gillian.
Well, good morning.
You know, all you have to do is look around as you drive around the Metroplex and see all of the housing construction that's going on everywhere you look to realize that this is a, fast-growing area. But I am curious about why things are apparently cooling down.
Well, I would say, Dave, that people have the misconception that since we are in such a hot market, that it's a seller's market in all areas and in all price points. And because they think it's a seller's market in all areas and all price points, they are starting to price their properties higher perhaps than what they really should be. So, yes, that's one of the challenges that we're having.
Yeah, everybody has heard the stories of sellers who have sold their homes for more than they were asking after being listed for just a few hours. So I guess now probably what you're suggesting is that sellers are saying, okay, I think we ought to set this at about 200, or a realtor says, why don't you set your price at 280,000, and the seller goes, why don't we set it at 300? Is that what's happening?
Very much so, very much so. Yes, prices are definitely on the rise, and they're on the rise because we do have a shortage of houses, which is a high demand of people out there trying to move into our area because of a lot of the companies that are coming into the area, and then we've got just the natural influx or migration of people coming into the area. So it is very difficult to price properties, and for that reason, when a person is selling a home, they do want to get as much as they can for their property, and they're just trying to pretty much overshooting the mark now, and having to now come back and adjust the price because they've overpriced it in the first place. For
people who are considering selling and either moving up in housing or moving out or whatever the reason, people who are considering selling, is there a best time of year, particularly in this phase that we're going through now?
Well, if you're interested in selling, I mean, the peak time pretty much all over the nation is pretty much when school is about to be out. So that's any time between April and September when school starts back up. So, yes, this is a peak time. But when there's a shortage of houses, people are always buying houses, year-round. People are moving all the time because of job changes, things of that nature. So this is the peak, but people will be buying houses throughout the year as well.
Well, the Fed recently raised the interest rate by 0.25%. Is that going to be affecting the mortgage rates, and how long before it starts to have that effect?
Well, yes, since the Fed has raised the rate, it will be affecting how buyers are looking at properties, because if they qualified for one price point before, they still will qualify for that, but now their monthly mortgage payment is now being impacted by that raise in interest rate, so they'll be paying more. And so buyers are eager to perhaps take advantage of the lower interest rates now, but yes, they are aware that as rates go up and there's a shortage of properties, they will experience some challenges in buying.
And that would go for refinancing too, right?
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So I would say if you are looking to buy a property, now is the time to buy in all price points. If you're looking at houses below $400,000 in most parts of the Metroplex, it is truly a seller's market, meaning that we have a shortage of properties and a high demand for buyers. If you're looking at properties that are between $400,000 and maybe $700,000, it's kind of a balanced market, so you have a greater chance of being able to negotiate terms and things of that nature. And if you're above $700,000, it's pretty much a buyer's market. So even though the properties are still selling faster than they have in the past, we still have different markets at different price points.
And what about for the majority of us who need to find something in the mid-market range? Maybe, I don't know, a couple of years ago, it was easy to find something for $200,000. Now that's getting very difficult. What about $200,000 to $300,000? Are they getting scarce?
Yeah, we're finding that a lot of people are truly getting priced out of the market because of a lot of our lower priced properties that were mid 200s, mid 200s and below they're pretty much disappearing, and the prices are going up. And then we're also seeing that we've got our millennials who are jumping into the market and buying properties now when they weren't able to buy properties in the past because they were either underemployed and just weren't making the monies that they that generation had previously made. And then we have the baby boomers who are also looking to downsize. So we've got a lot of competition in that mid-price range there. So, yes, it is a challenging time there.
All right. Gillian, thank you for taking a couple of minutes to talk with us so early this morning. We appreciate it.
Well, thank you so very much for having me.
All right. This is Gillian Cunningham with the Gillian Cunningham Realty Group.